fantastic.
It's super quiet.
And yeah. I've just been working out and cooking. That's pretty much it.
When do you go back to school?
Good.
I go back on the 24th.
Of August or September?
Yeah. August.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there any in person?
So yes and no. So I have technically 2 labs for bio that are like in person, but only one person from each lab group goes in. So it may or may not even be me, and everything else is online, and I'm staying at home for the first semester. So yeah, it should all be fine. And then we'll reevaluate spring semester.
Were you going to stay on campus?
I was, yeah.
Okay. Which one of us is that? Chiming. No one knows.
That's me. That's me.
Oh. It's fine. Just checking. Not a big deal. Okay. Who's so excited about tonight? Nobody? Okay, great. This is going well. Good thing. I'm talking about.
No, I missed it. I really have missed it.
I didn't hear what you said. Wait. Yeah, you glitched.
Oh, I said, who's so excited? Like, I'm super excited about tonight. And then it went like silent.
We're all excited. We're back.
Okay.
Season 2. I feel like we
got some comments
updates
out here.
Community.
Excited?
Candice and Brian, do you want to give the world an update on what we've been up to since season 1?
Oh, that's true.
We had some announcements.
We haven't even closed. Yeah, right?
Big announcement.
Holy cow.
Tell the people.
Tell the
Candice,
people.
Tell the people. It's your show.
Wow. I mean, it's not, but in this particular case, I'm going to own all of it. So we announced a $50 million fundraise for Lightship Capital. We had gone out to raise a $20 million fund last fall. And, through a lot of grit and determination and a lot of hustle, we have $45 million in commitments and are now on track to raise a $50 million fund by the end of the summer. That makes us the largest first-time fund raised by a Black woman ever. And it was in the Wall Street Journal a couple weeks ago. So that's it.
Woo!
That's it.
That
Big
is
deal.
so freaking awesome.
Yeah. I love it.
Wow.
Also, we have a new full-time hire and a new investment.
Oh, yes.
Other things to talk about.
New full-time hire. Yes. So this little online pitch competition was supposed to be like really just like one season, right? We were just going to do it once. And I don't think we were really considering doing it like forever.
Well, COVID was going to end by now. And then
COVID was supposed to end a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just going to get us through June, right? Like that was the entire, in June it was going to end and like the summer was going to be fine. But no.
Number 45 told us it was going to just go away. Just disappear.
It's just going to disappear with, prayer and Windex. So here we are now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So here we are now. We've officially hired someone new. Brian, do you want to say who it is?
Well, why don't we bring him on the show through his, how about
I don't know
that?
if he's busy or not.
Let's see if he wants to.
Voice of God.
Boom!
Hey!
Oh!
It's the newest member of the team. Marlon, welcome to the team.
Full time.
Appreciate it. Excited to be here.
What's your role here at Lightship Capital?
Yeah, so I am technical director. I can't even say it properly. Technical director at Lightship Capital. Still voice of God of Twitch Pitch / producer.
Woo woo! Welcome to the team. Wow, crazy.
Oh my God, you just live off fast? Where's the follow-up? I had a follow-up question.
It was done.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Nobody hates the camera more than Marlon. And he makes sure it works for all of us too. It's hilarious. So, why did you do this? You were at Udacity. It's a great firm. Still, I'm sure you still love a lot of the folks over there. So, why did you make the move over here with these crazy folks?
Yeah, I think two main things. Udacity is a great company, with a great mission as far as transition the world to, and educate people technically. The unfortunate part of that about that for me directly, I was being starved creatively, and then I didn't have enough opportunity to exercise how I wanted to see minorities and Black people grow into this world, and so. Those two things directly align with me to join in with Elisha Capital.
And we're luckier for it. So, everybody, give them a big clap out in the comments. Thank you for joining.
Appreciate you.
Man, we got our own voice of God on payroll. That's a big deal. That's
so great. That's so great. So
what's up, Jake Brad?
I love that you always say that.
I love the regulars. I love the new folks too. Bring your friends.
What else? Oh, we made an investment, our first investment from the fund. So we invested in a company called Fresh Fry. They went through some of our programming. So we have a 1-week boot camp that we host throughout the country. Jeremiah Chapman, the founder, we met last year at some point, went through the New Me boot camp. We selected him for Hillman Accelerator. Gosh, I can't believe I'm still saying those names. Through Hillman Accelerator. And we selected him as our first fund investment. So we made an investment alongside an organization called Open Prairie Ventures out of Illinois.
Okay.
He raised, I'm going to explain the company.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is why you don't sit next to me during this portion of the show.
I can't wait.
Yes. So they raised a $3.25 million round that we participated in with Open Prairie, which is exceptional. So Fresh Fry is a plant-based pod that you put in commercial grade cooking oil at the end of the night. It soaks out all of the impurities and helps the oil to last an extra 2 to 4 additional days. They're currently white labeled by Cisco. Cisco SYSCO, not Cisco, the other Cisco out in California. And so he's somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 restaurants around the country. And I'm super excited. He just opened a lab here in Cincinnati to continue working on his company. He's a Black chemist out of Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm just excited that we've got our first investment made.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I tell you, venture capitalists, man, they won't tell you how much the company raised, but they tell you what they do. It's classic, man. It's classic.
When your first investment raised that much, though, that's dope.
We pick winners. We pick winners around here.
Pick winners.
That's actually what the show's about too, right?
Picking winners. Yes. And I'll tell you what, those top 3, let's talk about that real quick, because I know we're going to get going here soon, but in the top 3 was Bottle, Hustle Clean, and Undock. Bottle just announced that they're moving to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they got a $350,000 investment from an organization called Atento Capital. And that's dope. You can't beat that.
Pick winners.
And I know that there's some fun things happening for our friends at Hustle Clean and Undock. So hopefully during season 2, we'll be able to announce those things too.
Exciting.
This chair is way more comfortable than that one I was sitting in. I know I'm way too comfortable, but ooh, man.
So Candice, we got, it's actually time. But I was going to ask you, what's today's snack that you're pushing?
Creamy peanut butter filled pretzels. And I also have cherries, but I feel like that's probably not appropriate for camera. Spitting out the pits doesn't seem like it's a good idea.
We'll have to get clearance from Marlon next time for that.
Yeah, but I know we're going to start here in a second, and that's okay. And whoever is going to start it, I'm sure it's Lexi. That's great, but I don't have any water. So you guys keep going. I'm going to grab some water because I can't go a whole hour without it.
What kind of show? going to get tricked.
Also, while we're waiting before Alexia gets started, we are still working on the Black-owned snack list. We did not forget. I promise you it will happen, but it will happen when we're all in the same place together.
I love that. Like, these themes are going from season to season. Like, where's my snack list? Like, all right, Alexia.
All right, well, to get started, you're watching live. Welcome to Twitch Pitch, the very first live stream pitch competition on Twitch, where you, the viewer, vote for companies you like the best. This is the very first episode of season 2 of Twitch Pitch. So to start, I'll go over the rules. If you're new to Twitch Pitch, let's review. During round 1, we'll watch as each startup presents their pitch deck in less than 5 minutes. Then the judges will begin their Q&A. And after we select viewer-submitted questions for the founders to answer, in the end, the audience and judges will have the opportunity to vote in the poll below for the company they like the best. The most simple way to determine which company you like the best is to just ask yourself, would I invest in this company? 12 companies will pitch over the next 6 episodes, but only the 3 with the most votes will be considered for the grand prize. From that 3 comes the chosen one, who obviously wins. And guess what? The tiebreaker is the audience vote. So, prizes for this season are, ready for it, a grand prize of $10,000 in cash.
Twice the amount as last season. That's what I'm talking about.
Your panel of judges are from the team at Lightship Capital. Alexis is an investor at Lightship Capital and a health tech enthusiast. Brian Brackeen is a partner at Lightship and is an expert in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And Candice Matthews Brackeen is the founder of Hillman Accelerator, partner at Lightship, and expert in all things CPG and e-commerce. These are real firms pitching real investors for real cash and prizes. And tonight, up first, we have Pitching RX Interactive.
Excuse me, Alexia. I see you.
That was
fire. That was fire. Look at who's growing up into this
come
role.
a long way.
Who knew? Who knew? I love it.
Pick winners.
Wait, do I see Danny Spikes in the audience?
What?
Yes, I am psyched. Hey, girl. Hey.
CPG in the bit. All right, here we go.
In 2009, my mother-in-law was battling pancreatic cancer. We found out she was taking her oral chemotherapy treatment every other day instead of every day as prescribed. And when we asked her about it, she told us she thought it was inferior to infusion treatment. She lost her battle with cancer soon afterwards. I dream of a world where patient education will no longer be a contributing factor to patients achieving poor medical outcomes and capable of leading to premature death. Hi, I'm Delmetri Williams, and I'm the founder of RX Interactive. RX Interactive uses gamification technology to make patient education engaging. Gamification is built on 10 primary game mechanics that are proven to motivate and engage users, such as goals, rewards, and immediate feedback. My mother-in-law was not alone. 50% of patients who deal with chronic disease do not take their medication as prescribed. And non-adherence costs the U.S. healthcare economy $290 billion a year. Unlike the status quo, where most of patient education is still a pamphlet in a doctor's office that ends up in your trunk somewhere, RX Interactive provides an engaging experience that will surprise, delight, and reward patients as they adhere to their medication, treatment, and wellness goals. RX Interactive customizes their solutions based on the disease, medication, and average demographic of the patient. RX Interactive has partnered with LSU Health to submit an NIH grant to develop a game for breast cancer patients on oral chemotherapy. The COVID-Wise app empowers patients as they track their symptoms. It also has contact tracing abilities and is available for local governments, healthcare systems, and companies. Our MVP, the Learn, Play, Live app, is a gamified patient adherence app for patients dealing with metabolic disorders such as heart disease and diabetes. The patient engagement market is huge, and it is expected to be $40 billion by the year 2024. RX Interactive has a 3-mode revenue model, which is licensing, gamification as a service, and NIH grants. The competition still basically prints materials that are only available when you either go to the doctor or the hospital. RX Interactive has a strong B2B sales go-to-market strategy, which is first local hospitals in the New Orleans area, then the Gulf Coast region, and our warm contacts in the pharmaceutical industry. RX Interactive has a team that has over 75 years combined experience in the healthcare industry, and I am certified expert level in gamification by the Engagement Alliance. In 5 years, we plan to capture 0.5% of the patient engagement market, which would be $78 million. You would think in the US, where so much of our healthcare is dependent on medication, more would be done to ensure that patients understood their medicine, know when to take it, how to take it, know the side effects, and when to call their doctor. I don't know if my mother-in-law would have taken her medicine as prescribed if we would have had more time with her, but at least we wouldn't be living with what if. RX Interactive is looking for healthcare heroes to join us into taking patient education into the year 2020 and beyond. Thank you.
So video quality's gone up. What in the world?
Let's bring her on. Hello.
Hi.
Delmatrice, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
That was
That
a
was dope.
fantastic pitch.
Thank you. Actually, we did that with our accelerator in New Orleans. So they did a professional video for us because Rona hit right in the middle of our cohort. And we felt like this was a way that we could kind of extend and go virtual.
I love it. I love it. And
So you didn't rent that giant warehouse there that you were standing in front of?
Oh, no. But for $500 a month, I could get a table. A little table.
awesome. So who wants to start with questions? Anyone?
I've got it. Okay,
Lexi, go right ahead.
I'll start. So good evening. I'd love to learn a little bit more about your pricing model. Are you pricing per patient? Is it on a cohort model? Is it one price per clinic or hospital? Tell me about how you're thinking about that.
Our MVP, which is the Learn, Play, Live app, we're looking at a per patient per month model, and we'll do that on a scale depending on how big the hospital or the managed care organization is. And we're probably looking at anywhere between $7 and $15. And our gamification as a service model, which will be mainly for pharmaceutical companies, we're looking at a per month model, but that also will be a large scale. So if it's like a large pharmaceutical company, they'll get reduced pricing per how many patients are enrolled.
And will that be billed monthly or billed on an annual or every 3-year contract?
We're looking at hopefully 3-year contracts with pharmaceutical and managed care organizations. Hospitals, probably a yearly contract.
Okay, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about where you are in the process of building the company and what does MVP mean to you?
Well, right now, we were getting ready to pilot our MVP, and then Rona hit, and the hospitals were out of money, at least here in this area. And so we pivoted a little with our COVID Wise app, which we're rebranding for infectious disease. That one will be done within the next couple of weeks. I have some mentors from the program that are trying to get the word out to like medium-sized companies that need their workers to go back to work to see if they can pilot that app for me. And on the 27th, our NIH grant will be reviewed. So I'm excited about that. That got pushed back a little bit because of Rona, but that's okay. We're finally making progress there. And MVP to me means it's the main staple, the easiest thing that I could get off the ground that can launch the company, something that, you know, we made it to where it could be a little customizable, but not too much. And so, for example, right now, the MVP is for metabolic disorders, which is diabetes and heart disease, because that covers a big chunk of America, and it takes away a lot of money from hospitals and managed care organizations. So we feel like that's an easy entry. And just with the popularity of different apps that you see as far as apps for, food, for workout apps and things like that, we want to build on that, but focus more on the patient education side and medication adherence.
I'll let somebody else go before I ask another one if we have time.
I have a question about the market size and revenue. You talked about $78 million at the end of the year 5, I think was your number. And then that was 0.5% of the market, which a lot of founders use numbers like that because they're attainable. But I actually think your product is quite transformational, and you have the experience to make a truly gamified product. So if that's the case, I would expect to see even like a 5% market ownership ultimately. Maybe that's year 5, 6, 7, what have you. So tell me about why 0.5 versus some other number, and if it is a higher number, why you chose those numbers.
Well, we chose a lower number. Yes, we believe higher, and just talking with different people, they're thinking 100 million, but VCs, everyone's different. And when you go through accelerators, you're getting information from like 40 different people. So we just tried to pick the best one we thought would be realistic based on where I am now. And we do have financial models where that number could be fluid. I actually think that the patient engagement market is even larger now that Rona's out here, because so many things are going to be virtual now. Before COVID, even though it may have stopped my business a little bit, now it's more important, because now you can't even go to the hospital with a cancer patient unless they're, highly disabled. So they're going to need that kind of education and help and support. You don't have that support anymore that can write notes for you or can interpret what the doctor is saying for you. So I do think once I start seeing them reevaluate the patient engagement market, I will adjust those numbers too.
Awesome. So I think so that we have enough time, I think we'll go to some audience questions. So does anyone in the audience have any questions? If not, I will continue. Do you see any yet, Marlon? Awesome. Well, then otherwise, I'll ask the following. So your competitors were in the slide. Tell me a little bit about where they are in market, and how will you go? Why do you feel like you'll be able to scale to their level or beyond over the next few years?
Well, most of these competitors have been out for a very long time, and what they do is they focus on printed material. For example, when you go to the ER and you get all those papers telling you what to do if you have a sinus infection, or if you got food poisoning, they're the ones that mainly print that material. And I just don't think that they're looking at gaming and gamification. It's kind of like they've been doing it for 50 years. It would be a whole different mindset for them. And I still think they'll be in the market because doctors and patients will still get pamphlets. But I do think that I'll make a dent in a different part of the market on the engagement side than what they're doing. And I think their market is limited because they're not going with technology. And if you look at every other industry, the customer experience has increased. I could go and check my bank account. I could buy insurance. The patient experience has not improved. As a matter of fact, it probably has gotten worse over the past 50 years. And so our goal is to improve that patient experience. And I think the COVID-19 has really showed us how poor the patient experience has really been. And I think it pulled off some things that we were just trying to Band-Aid in this industry.
When people go to their pharmacist, when people get their prescription, are they more likely to go back and reference their doctor or talk to their pharmacist about their prescription?
I know the pharmacists really want to talk to the patients, but they usually go to what they call a nurse educator. And we're not trying to replace nurse educators, but usually you only get them. You can only hire so many. They can only handle so many patients. And usually you get them after service, maybe about a month or so. And so we would like to be an extension of nurse educators.
Okay. Awesome. I cut off the audience question, so I think it's coming up.
Yes.
All right, Lexi.
Alrighty. So how do you foresee older patients adapting to the technology?
Actually, when you look at the studies, they're adapting more and more. My mom just turned 85 and you can't get her off of her iPhone. The average gamer is like a 45 to 50-year-old woman. So I think this idea that elderly patients aren't on technology is it's just not real anymore. Maybe 2 years ago, but it's accelerated, and it's accelerating at such a faster pace.
Insofar, your MVP has been tested on patients. To what degree has patient compliance improved?
Oh, we have not tested our MVP yet. We were going to, and we had a hospital and another medical company signed up. And then when the coronavirus hit, everything focused on acute problems. So our goal is to go back to pilot in December. Prayerfully, everything will be a little more calm then, and get that testing result. So our probably first focus, our first pilot will probably be with our infectious disease app first, and then working on our clinical trial with our patient education game for breast cancer patients.
And what are the rewards the user would obtain from using your app?
Right now, the rewards are all intrinsic. We're looking at game design and gamification. Our goal is, though, to turn those rewards when we start working with managed care organizations into monetary awards. For example, like maybe they'll get gift certificates to ancillary health things like, maybe medical massage, chiropractic use. And so, yes, we will start off intrinsic, like what you see, that gives motivation and behavior, but our overall goal is to have those turned into something monetary. Even maybe they'll get, money off on their health insurance. That's the ultimate goal.
Awesome. Well, Dimitri, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. We really appreciate it. And I think Brian actually takes us into the next segment. I think I cut him off. So Brian, you want to say what you're going to say?
You did an excellent job. There's nothing else to add. But yeah, thanks for coming. Now we're going to talk behind your back.
Awesome.
What do we think, guys?
Who wants to start?
I'm happy to start. I think it's obviously a huge market. You could see 100 healthcare startups, and they could all be unicorns. Like the problem is so big. The amount of money in the problem is so big. There's plenty of space for lots of people. And if anyone's successful in any area, it's good for humanity, right? So I love those things. I'd love to see her a little further along, and it's not her fault. COVID happened, and you can't change that. But what she's doing seems like the right thing. She is the right person, has the right background. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'll say that just as a little bit of education for the audience. So there are lots of different types of funds. Some invest in idea stage, some invest right at the MVP level, and then you see folks kind of invest beyond at different stages in the life cycle of the company. We do Twitch pitch so that we can find companies to potentially invest in. So we invest in kind of 5 big areas, and then we can help folks to get to other investors. So we invest in artificial intelligence companies, healthcare, e-commerce, CPG, and sustainability. So this type of company would actually align really well. We typically, though, will invest a little further along when the company's a little bit further along and they have some traction and they've proven their concept. So in my opinion, this for me is a good company to track. They fall right within thesis. Like what you said, Brian, is exactly correct. That really we just need to get them a little further along in the work so they can prove some things. But I think she's got a lot of things right. Like you said, right team, right concept, all of those things. I don't have anything negative to say other than I'd like to see a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just early.
Also, good on you, coming on the show, being the first group pitching for season 2, and for applying and getting this far, because it's not easy. Lexi's not easy.
Lexi didn't just take everybody to apply.
Yeah. So
That's 100% true. And I agree with what you're both saying. I'd love to see not only her test the MVP, but I'd love to see how it works with more than one indication. Just to make sure that, it's not just something that works really well for diabetes patients or just one indication. I'd love to see how it translates across different indications to make sure that it scales not only across hospitals, but also across different patient needs.
And to that
But
point,
I'm very much into it, and we will be tracking her.
Yeah. I'll also add not only into those indications, but also different hospitals. So right now she's working in her local area. I'd like to see her move outside of her local area and see how she'll be able to attract more and more hospital clients and other folks prescribing so that we can better understand how she can scale and get to that number that she's going toward.
I agree.
Cool. Awesome. We got this thing going.
Yeah. That's the next contestant. Alexia, what do we got next?
All right, so up next we have Allergy Amulet.
Cool.
I've had food allergies since childhood and have been hospitalized several times as a result. I came up with the idea for the Allergy Amulet to help folks feel safer about the foods they eat. I've wanted something like this to exist for as long as I can remember.
The Allergy Amulet is a fast and portable food allergen detection device. A user can test a sample of their dish and find out in under 1 minute if their food allergen is present. The amulet can be worn as a necklace or bracelet or carried on your keychain. Our goal was to marry fashion with function.
The purpose of the Allergy Amulet is to create greater food transparency and give those managing food allergies greater assurances that their foods are safe. Our technology is based on a novel application of molecularly imprinted polymers. Molecularly imprinted polymers are synthetic cavities that bind to target molecules, matching them in shape, size, and other molecular properties. Several members of our team have food allergies or children with food allergies, so for us, it's personal.
Well,
that was dope. I know. Drop the mic. There's a little more here for us to watch.
Okay, cool.
Eating foods prepared by others can be challenging when you have a food allergy or intolerance. That's why we developed the Allergy Amulet, a fast and portable food allergen and ingredient detection device designed to help individuals feel safer about the foods they eat. The simple operation of the Allergy Amulet starts with inserting a single-use test strip into a liquid or solid food sample. Users then insert the strip into the sheath covering, shake, and plug the connector into the amulet reader. Each sheath contains molecularly imprinted polymers, advanced biomaterials with synthetic cavities, designed to bind to target molecules. If binding occurs, the reader detects a measurable interaction, alerting the user to the presence of the target ingredient within seconds. If no binding occurs, the reader signals that the target ingredient was not detected. The amulet can be configured as a wearable or integrated into everyday products. With an accompanying app, users can track and upload tests, connect with other food allergic individuals, and store and share important information like emergency contacts. The Allergy Amulet serves as a supplemental management tool, enabling users to directly sample their food for unwanted ingredients. At Allergy Amulet, we strive to provide greater food transparency so that users can feel more secure when eating foods prepared by others.
I can't even wait to just start talking to the founder. Like, let's Marlon, like, let's go. I'm excited. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show. This is great.
I know this is like your regular life, but for the rest of us, it's totally amazing. So, I mean, I can tell even in the comments, people are really excited about it.
Yeah, they totally are. Who wants to start? No one wants to start. Yeah, we all don't want to ask a stupid question.
Well, there are no stupid questions. Go for it. I I mean, just talk about, I didn't know what Twitch Pitch was. I wasn't sure if this was TikTok. I have no idea where I am right now. I'm like, I could be, I feel like this definitely made me feel a little old right now. This is my first first time I heard of Twitch.
You're doing it. You're doing a great job. You're like,
Yeah.
Thanks.
My kids were on here, so I knew that much. So how granular does this get? So like, what's the smallest, like because sometimes it's just a trace of food, and people are affected. So tell me like how small of a sampling you can touch the
100%. Yeah. And so I've stood by the position that, we're not going to put anything out there that I wouldn't use myself, that our CMO wouldn't use for her daughter. Right. And so, you ask, why isn't the product available on the market yet? It's because we've been working diligently on building out a food matrix, testing extensively. And ultimately we got to a point where we're now capable of detecting at 2 orders of magnitude below clinically relevant thresholds, which allows us to report right now 100% accuracy with N over 1,000. So we got to a point where we felt, okay, so, low part per million range generally varies by allergen. The clinically relevant thresholds are called lowels. So the lowest observable adverse effect level. So the lowest amount that would trigger an allergic reaction in the most sensitive food allergic population. That's what we calibrate our device to. And my co-founder, he and I met when I was in law school. So he founded and led the first company to commercialize these types of sensors. So the core tech had been around for decades and had been primarily used with drug separation and drug delivery. It's known to be highly sensitive, highly selective. And what he did was he pioneered pairing these imprinted polymers with an electrochemistry platform. And because of a combination of advances, both advances in imprinted polymers and electrochemistry, the cost of nanomaterials coming down, those have dovetailed to allow for really this product to become a reality. And now we have a pre-production product ready to commercialize. So we're pivoting from, we've had 5 full-time scientists in the lab, 3 PhDs for the past few years. And now we're ready to start producing beta units and finally putting some money behind the marketing side of things.
So have you been funding this on like NIH grants, SBIR? Like how have you been funding to date?
Well, so we actually came into, so my co-founder has brought in some grants for the core tech. Primarily, his other company, the first to commercialize this tech, they're detecting nicotine and marijuana. So they got a bunch of grants, more for like American Lung Association and all those for that focus. We actually came to VC capital. We were led, our first round was venture led back in 2016. We raised 1.1 million. We did a convertible note. And then this round is also an institutional lead investor, Midwest. So we're headquartered in Madison. So we just actually closed on a decent chunk of the round. We were just filling out the last bit. So yeah, press releases come in. We're working with our PR firm on that. We were a generator company and they told me about you guys. And everything I've seen, I saw your Twitch fix, you guys are, I wish there were more VC funds like you guys out there, and I hope there are many more of you guys to come. But we've been lucky. We've had some great VC partners. So I would say that, we have about 4 new VCs coming on board. One, I don't know if I can announce it yet.
It's okay. You can tell us later.
Okay, I'll
tell us later.
Technically, because I don't know, we're trying to get like an exclusive with like TechCrunch and Crunchbase. So we're like, keep mum's the word a little bit on the stuff. But we have an institutional lead. We've got 5-6 VCs on our cap table right now, and this is a $3 million financing for this round. And I can give you more details.
That's cool.
Feel free to ask more questions if you want about like the market. I mean, it's like more kids these days have food allergies than when I was a kid. I was the only one in my school, and now it's 2 in every classroom, 1 in 13 kids, 1 in 10 adults, and adult onset for food allergies is on the rise, which is the scariest thing. I grew out of most of my food allergies. Now they're like, no, they're coming back.
Abby, why do you think that is? Why are we seeing more food allergies? I have my own conspiracy theories. So
they're probably not conspiracy theories, because our allergists, 2 of our first investors were allergists, and we worked with them on a couple of articles on our blog. talking about the leading theories based on based on the latest cutting edge research and publications. And there are a handful of theories out there, but the latest, I would say what a lot of allergists are looking at right now is the microbiome, changes in the microbiome, and how changes in our food system are affecting the microbiome. So then there also there's the hygiene hypothesis. We're not getting exposed to enough dirt. We're the Purell generation. There are some studies around that. There's also one study that kids that are babies that are around a lot of farm animals, or kids that are born on farms, tend to have a lower risk of developing food allergies. So lots of different factors, but the big one right now is they're thinking changes in our food system. And because it's not just an increase of diagnosis, it's an increase of there's a rise in food allergies right now. It's
I've got a question around the hardware side. So before I was an investor and an entrepreneur, I worked at Apple, and it's hard. Hardware is hard. I'm on the board of a hardware company now, and then you have essentially interactive hardware, if that makes sense, right? So it's even more difficult, right? So how do you approach that challenge? It seems like you've got over a lot of humps. How hard was it? Where are you going with it?
Great question. So I think maybe it's we partnered with a design and engineering firm years ago who they work with Fitbit, GoPro, a bunch of the big names, but they also work with a select group of startups primarily in the wearable sensor space. So one way we've really de-risked the hardware side is through that partnership. They also invested in us, and they don't always invest in their clients. And they have just been a real, they're able to produce it at 50,000 units, all the beta units. We've broken down the budget for that, ready to hit go on that after this round. This device is actually a miniature piece of lab equipment. It's called a potentiostat. So we take it's the electrochemistry that reads the imprinted polymer film on the other chip. So when and also no food gets in here either. It's the clean side of the chip that gets inserted in here, because that question comes up a lot. So I think just, as an entrepreneur, you really have to surround yourself with the right people, right? It takes a village. And I think I've just been really lucky to have found some solid partners that have helped us, really get this, because to your point, hardware is hard. So they've helped also take a lot of companies like us to market. So another client of theirs is Ember Labs. It's like a wearable that helps regulate body temperature. C2 Sense is another, but again, GoPro, Fitbit, they worked with all those groups before as well. So through their CMs and channel partners, we can produce up to 50,000 units. And I will say too, so what is unique? So I'm a lawyer too, so I've been focusing on the IP from the get-go. And we do have IP. So we have an issued patent, we have PCT patent applications on file, and the application to allergens. So we're coming in with actually the tech. So you get, unlike most seed companies, you're actually getting the technology with this too, which is a platform technology with applications beyond allergens. So we're looking down the road at foodborne pathogens, E. coli, salmonella. So, down the road, this could be more of a food safety wearable or non-wearable as well. And it's not just necklace. We're gonna have cool wristbands, keychains,
Things for kids, hopefully, all that stuff. Right?
Oh yeah, we're thinking of it's still a little under wraps. We're thinking of going like the Beanie Baby route, so doing limited release of doing like glitter version, having some like rainbow glitter ones on the side for kids, only doing like 100 of those or something. But we have so many fun ideas, and our CMO's daughter has life-threatening food allergies too. So she has some great insights as well on design and so forth.
I feel like your why would actually help you to attract great talent, because people understand the issue, and then we'll want to work here versus other places. Lexi? Oh, sorry.
Well, on your point of talent, so we actually have two immigrants we've brought on our team now have green cards from when they started, and we have a pretty diverse. So we have one Black scientist who's a rock star, two immigrants who now have their green cards, a really just rock solid diverse team, which has been great too, and majority female board. So.
You're crushing it. You're crushing it.
So, and I know you guys are all about diversity, so I thought I'd mention that.
And in Madison, Wisconsin.
And in Madison, Wisconsin.
Because when I think Madison, Wisconsin, I think diversity.
Right. No, me too.
So we had one of our best meals ever in Madison, Wisconsin, as a matter of fact.
Yes, 100%. All right, Lexi, I'm sure you have great questions.
Sorry. Yeah, we're like subject.
Oh, well, Abby and I have spoken before. She knows I'm obsessed. She also knows, I guess the audience doesn't know this, that I have life-threatening food allergies.
Oh, I did not know
always have. So my question is, what is your initial go-to-market demographic? Because of course this is universal. Are you going after the parents with young children? Are you going after the people who are, adults who already understand their challenges around food allergies? What's your first up, and then how do you expand from there?
So target market is moms with kids ages 4 through 12. I think right now what we're seeing, especially among, friends I know, moms, it's when your child is diagnosed with food allergies, they're always potentially life-threatening. Some are more, peanut is the number one trigger of food-related anaphylaxis, but it's scary, and I think that what we want to do with our product is help alleviate some of that anxiety while also making sure we message it as a supplement, not a substitute to the standard precautionary measures that you would otherwise take when dining out. And we have a whole messaging strategy around that, as far as also how you have to activate the device, swiping through screens, education, all that, disclaimers, warranties. But yeah, moms are our target market. But I think, we see, just on our team, right? I'm more of the millennial adult with food allergies. Meg is the mom. Our CMO is the target market. She has a daughter with food allergies. But yeah, I would say, and we're focusing on food allergies initially, and then we're going to move to intolerances like gluten and lactose down the road. Does that answer your question?
It does, absolutely. My second question is, do you have a date yet of release / when can I pre-order?
Yeah, so we just, we've been getting that question a lot, and we actually just this week picked a month. We're still waiting on a couple more. I'm having a couple of more conversations with our design and engineering firm, just to make sure we can, so October, pre-orders are in October. And then, we're excited. We already have several thousand people signed up for beta testing. But yeah, we're excited to launch pre-order and do the damn thing. now that we have money.
If we can help you with pre-order and waitlist strategy to go, let us know. We've done some work in that area. So the comments are on fire. You have
wait. We got Chacho down here from Backstage Capital asking what the name of the company is. That's what I'm talking about. Backstage is out here looking for deal flow. Chacho, it's Allergy Amulet. And if you want to pop us an email, we can send you over contact information, because I'm sure Abby would.
You know where you heard it. You know where you heard it right here.
We do have a little bit of room left in the round. We did close. So we closed last Friday. On most of it, and we have a little room left. So yeah, we're looking for strategic partners, awesome folks that can help us, blow it up. And especially, I always love when a partner has a food allergy themselves, because I think that their insight and input is valuable. So yeah,
right, let's bring Lexi in and ask some of these questions.
Yeah, Chacho, I'll hit your DMs in a second. But what's the next? We've got a question from the audience. I'm sorry.
No problem. What's the predictive utility of this, and is the reliability modified by the kind of foods tested?
Predictive utility. Well, so we've tested hundreds of different ingredients. We've tested for cross-reactivity. So I'm not sure if you're getting at sort of false positives or false negatives, but we've tested for the technology is highly sensitive. So again, 2 orders of magnitude below clinically relevant thresholds. And we've built out a food matrix. So we've tested a broad range of foods. So everything from, granola bars to, we partnered with celebrity chef Ming Tsai. We tested a bunch of his dishes. and have really just built out an extensive food matrix that we're further building on. One thing I should also add too, in the app, we can actually see a food fingerprint on the back end. So our molecule, our target allergenic molecule, produces essentially it generates a fingerprint, and we can capture that on the background as well on the app when you share a test result. So I think, the utility of this is really to help prevent an inadvertently ingesting the target allergen food, which could kill you, right? So I went into anaphylaxis as a teenager and almost died, and it was one bite of a walnut cookie. This is the reality that you as a parent or an adult have to deal with. Is what it's like Russian roulette, and be it takeout, dining out, even manufactured goods. It really can be life or death. So this allows the device to take the first bite, so that you're not the one that
That actually is a great slogan. Let the device take the first bite. That's dope. Keep that. Write that one down if you don't already.
So our slogan is let's take the worry off your plate. Let us.
Nice.
Yeah. Or dine confidently. It was between the two. But actually, what I do now when I'm at restaurants is I'll take a very small bite, and I'll get a little bumpy lip or a scratchy, like the smallest of bites. But even then, it can be an epinephrine auto-injector and a trip to the ER, depending on what it is. So I've wanted this device to exist for as long as I can remember, so I don't have to constantly be subjecting my own health. Yeah.
Lexi?
So do you think you'll be able to reduce the size in the future?
The size of this?
Yes.
This is pretty much as small as, it's pretty small. We probably won't be able to get any smaller. This is going to have a battery, Bluetooth. It is the miniature piece of lab equipment, a potentiostat. It has a PCB, and then it also will have a buzz. So you'll be able to hold this down and send an alert. It'll be like a Medi alert. So say little Timmy goes to soccer practice. He's just had a bite of a granola bar and he's getting a scratchy throat. He holds this down and it sends an alert to his mom or whoever. And then, so this is also, I think, the new age medical ID bracelet, right? Which hasn't seen an update since forever. So we want to we also want to destigmatize allergies. We want to normalize them. That's part of our effort with this product too, is to make it, it's cool and it's just something you do, especially for kids. You just test your food, no big deal. And you have this cool little gadget too. So that's really part of our mission as well.
Now, Abby's answer to that is no, I can't get it any smaller. You see how much stuff is in here. It will call Batman if I wanted it to.
We try to get it pretty small. But it's, I will say that I've had a lot of people just say that they would love to buy the necklace, which I think is good, and we're going to do like a Fitbit like bracelet and a keychain. So everyone's going to get a keychain as part of the starter kit. And then the add-on accessories, if you want the wearable premium line, cheaper version.
Okay, and we probably need to go to like one last question because we have been here with Abby for a long time.
Is there? Sorry.
Oh yeah,
is there a way to test for airborne food allergens?
So you can't. So the way that. So I guess the short answer is yes, but in practical purposes, you need to really test the food itself because you need heat or you need machination to actually produce enough of the allergen in the air. So you can't, it's not feasible. It would be really nice if you could just wave over this device over the dish, right? And test for the whole thing. But based on how the chemistry works, you really need to get a sample. And that sample then mixes with a buffer solution inside that sheath component. The technology, it can. So my co-founder's other company, they detect nicotine and marijuana in the air. So the same core tech. There may be applications for airliners or maybe restaurant kitchens potentially, but for purposes of testing your food, it's just not practical to go the airborne route. But the capabilities are there if it makes sense and there's enough of a market. But right now we're focusing on, sample testing of the food.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Look forward to now. So now we talk behind your back, and we talk about how great you are, and then vote a little bit. So thanks so much.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Abby. Bye-bye.
Excited. Well,
Wow.
I mean, I know I'm just the intern, but like, wow.
You're not just the intern. At some point, you'll have one of our jobs if you want it. So
exactly.
I hear you. Holy guacamole, you guys. Yes, Lance, it was an awesome pitch. And this was, yikes, $50 million in a fund goes really fast. Like when you start seeing companies like this, holy guacamole. Like, we still have 10 more companies to see this season. And so here we are. We just hit it right out of the gates. Good job, Lexi.
Guys, this is the first episode. I mean, it's crazy. Ooh. This happened last season too, though. Remember, episode 1 was great last season.
Yes.
Well, just special shout out to some of our friends in the universe. We have to give the credit to Generator for this one.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
They were Generator Madison.
Partnerships and relationships. I actually couldn't tell you which one.
Generator.
Generator as a whole, we love them. But great company. Such a great company. Of course, an incredibly large market need. No one has solved this problem. Not a single person ever, successfully. And she has a stack team to do it. Of course, I like traction. I like sales. I like to see some sales. But outside of that, perfect.
Yeah. What kind of gets me over that hump is I get some Dr. Amy Beckley vibes about it. Right? We were able to invest in that company. So we invested in a company called Prove, progesterone ovulation test. We invested very early in market, but before FDA clearance. And sometimes you just risk it for the biscuit and hope that, that founder can see the future. And I don't know, Abby's got it. And I like that there are a few, she said there's a few thousand people who are ready to beta test, which is great, that she's going to open pre-orders. It sounds like they've got things in order for manufacturing, so that's not as risky for a hardware company. And they've already raised and they've done this much work. So to get from 2016 to now on what she said was $1.1 million before this current round, they got really far in hardware. That's really far in hardware. They can stretch a buck. Not that you want a company to necessarily have to do that, but they've run a really lean operation from what it sounds like. More questions that I would end up having are around the risk that the company faces. And somebody in the audience actually asked that, what level of risk does the company have if the device fails to detect things? So how do you insure something? What does that look like?
What sounds awful, but it's terrible. But the answer is you just throw a disclaimer on the box.
Yeah, that's a solved issue.
That's all it is.
It's a solved
issue. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
We live in a country where it's no one's fault, even sometimes when it should be, right?
Right.
Yeah. So all she has to do is say, this device is not, 100% guaranteed to avoid anaphylaxis or other allergy-related incidents. Boom, she's safe for the rest of her life. Now, that doesn't eliminate a potential PR risk, but it eliminates the legal risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think sometimes you look at her pitch and it's so obvious, right? That you would hate yourself if you didn't invest, right? When it goes on to be this amazing thing, and you're I knew that day, right, that I heard that pitch that it was a thing. It's just she's one of those companies. Sure of it. It's on mute.
Okay, so we had a conversation earlier today, Brian and I, with one of our potential LPs, and they said to us, like, you know, are you going to be able to spend the next 4 years deploying this $50 million? Like, is it going to take you 4 years to find 36 companies? Like, we'd like for you to potentially like spread this out over 4 years. We're talking about 36 companies in a portfolio. If I'm meeting this many great companies, why would I wait 4 years? I understand like not investing the entire thing, but like there are 36 great companies run by Black people, Indigenous people, people of color, women, LGBTQIAP, and the disabled. If I break that $50 million down into like 6 groups of people, oh, come on. Like, I can't wait 4 years. I need to like deploy this and raise another fund to invest in another 50 to 60 companies. So we'll keep finding these. So,
and we'll keep raising funds and we'll keep investing. Like we're here to solve a problem, right? And this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
Let me say it one more time.
Yeah.
There is no pipeline problem. There is no pipeline
There's
problem
no pipeline
for anyone. There's no pipeline problem. They're everywhere. They're building great companies, generating real revenue, raising real money. There's no pipeline problem.
And we have to do more with less. Do you see what this lady did with less? Like saving the babies. Like she's literally going to be saving lives and had to do it on a tiny budget. Like what's happening? But you are absolutely, there is no pipeline problem.
Man.
Rachel Gray out there like, preach.
Lexi has friends. She has a beehive. She has her own beehive.
You know, our friends from Endeavor out here supporting the cause.
Good people. Endeavor.org. Support.
Hallelujah.
All right. So as we understand it, Twitter's having some problems with polls. Completely independent of us. Not our fault.
They're having all sorts of problems.
All sorts of problems. Yeah, Twitter's got a lot of problems, actually. Yeah. So we're going to find a way to take the votes on these companies either later in the season or next week. We'll work out. We'll let you guys know.
Later this week.
Yep, there you go. Later this week. So we'll give you guys a chance to vote on these amazing companies so that we know who will win and move to the next round. So with that, should we bring Alexia in to take us out?
She may not be able to. She has having a little bit of an issue with her computer. So she may not be hopping back in. Oh, there she is.
I'm back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my computer just decided to like completely die and run out of memory. So that was nice.
That's young people problems. I love it. You guys put all sorts of things on your computers. I love it. All right, so I guess you're taking us out.
Alrighty, so let me get resituated. Republic is our sponsor for tonight. I'm just gonna wing this, but Republic is our sponsor, and to go out, check in on Thursday, same time, and yeah.
So that's what happens when we lose a computer. So thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're going to go backstage now and continue to talk to each other for the next few minutes. If you guys want to stay and ask any questions, you're welcome to do it. But thanks for joining us for Twitch Pitch Season 2, Episode 1.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Backstage.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Hey, Brad, it was only 2, man. It was only ever 2.
Oh, man, that's a lot.
I think it was 3 in the final, maybe.
3 in the final.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking. Yeah, but it was only 2 in the regular season.
Yeah.
There's also some new names out here.
I see them.
Yeah. 7 good questions.
Yes. Also with some rather interesting things. He was like, maybe the Allergy Amulet should come out with something that's also for STDs.
I thought that was a good idea.
I saw that.
I know, but why you got to be about that life? Like, I feel like there's other ways you could take care of that.
Yeah.
But
wait,
yes.
what? No, that would be incredible. Imagine an allergy amulet for STI. No. Hear me out. Imagine it for STIs. You sell it to cruise lines. You sell it to the Olympics. You sell it to the spring break areas. I'm so serious. And you crush it. You crush it the same way that condom manufacturers crush it during the Olympics and on cruise lines. The same thing.
Look, you guys.
And
that's fine. And it's a judgment-free zone from this one. Here's what I'll say for myself, being from the older demographic of people, and Brian will correct for the rest of our demographic, but like, I got married when I was 20. I've been married twice. I've had 2 husbands, and I've never been single. So like, I don't know what that life's about. And so that scares me a little bit, that somebody be like testing and just hoping for the best. Like, I feel like there's other ways.
Here's the example. Here's a real life example. Wouldn't you rather, if you had to go to the store or go out to an event, wouldn't you rather have someone give you a temperature check before you walk in versus not knowing that you had a fever and potentially had COVID?
I wish I would have heard that.
No.
No, I heard you, Lexi.
I didn't hear. I really didn't. There's no shade. I didn't hear you. All I heard was convenience store or something like that. Anyway.
Okay, I'll say it again. And also, Mensa, Kim, we do know that we're still live. So what I'm saying is,
we do this every time.
This is part of the
imagine
show.
You're walking into an event. Let's say it's a book signing. Okay. Wouldn't you rather them do temperature checks at the door to see if you potentially had COVID than not knowing and being in a room with people who potentially had COVID? Wouldn't you rather them do that check at the door before entering?
Yes.
Okay. Good point.
It's not icky. That's just, you want to know. Independent of you like it or don't like it, you need to know, right?
Okay. I get it.
Having to go all the way to the hospital to get your COVID test. 2 weeks takes 2 weeks to get the results. Let's know in real time.
That's why we invest in platform technologies. So there could be all sorts of use cases for this one. Wow. But Seppi out here with all the information about STDs and STIs.
I love it.
Really good.
I love it. They do have condoms that detect STIs. That is true. Although their accuracy has been questioned in over the years, but
Lexi knows everything about every company. It's just like,
I guess these people don't know this too. I used to run a sexual education nonprofit when I was in college called Shape. I used to teach other teachers how to teach sex ed in Providence Public Schools.
Lexi, yeah.
I love health tech. I love all health tech. It's my favorite. Health tech's my favorite.
Oh,
Lexi had 60 years of experience, like kind of jammed into less years of life. I don't. How she's able to accomplish that.
That's the Jamaican in me. We all have 5 jobs at the same time.
So, those that are new to the show, this behind the scenes segment is actually part of the show. So we end the official show and we just talk like we do in the office. And we think it's actually an important piece because this is how VCs talk about companies after the pitch is over. And we want to just show you like ourselves in the official capacity, but also in the non-official capacity. So you have a better understanding that when you're pitching a company or your company or you name it, how it's really going. And so you can just better educate yourself in that way.
Yeah, I love it. Anything else we need to be talking about tonight?
Jay Brath, are you Jamaican?
I don't think it's his name. I think his name is Jeremy.
No, it is, but I like to use the name.
Okay. So I was pretty sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure his name is Jeremy. Why are we calling him? Oh, Hadia in the house.
Hadia. Hello.
Hadia from HBCU is here. Hadia, OG of Black Tech Startups. She is one of the co-founders, one of the 4 co-founders of blackfounders.com. and the mad genius behind HBCU VC getting students at HBCUs into venture capital, and it is absolutely amazing. Hopefully we see her here on the show later this season. I don't think we've announced guest judges yet. Maybe we could talk about that now.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we're having guest judges this time around, and she's going to be one, and we're excited. She's amazing.
Yeah, I'm super psyched about that. So look, we got Michael Hall here from Startup Miami. Like this. Why do you have to be an OG? Because you are an OG. It doesn't make you old.
Actually, that kind of does. Isn't
the O like original?
What's before? Yeah, but original, like.
Yeah.
She's like
gangster.
One. Okay, but like, she's
like,
an old gangster.
I think that's the implication.
Okay, my bad. She's young and fresh and hip. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, someone I look up to and down to because I think she might be a little shorter than me.
Yes, and Jeff, we know your name. Why did somebody say it wrong?
You, Jay Brath.
No, I say Jay Brath because that's your online persona.
I love it. Michael Hall from Digital Grass. What's the name of his show? Off the top of my head, it fell out of my head.
Tech Bites and Beats.
Now he's going to tell me. Tech Bites and Beats. That's right. Yeah. Oh, she's a hipster. She's not an OG. That doesn't work either.
I don't think she's hipster.
Yeah.
She's West Coasty, though.
I love it. Well, these peanut butter bites didn't get me very far. And so everyone knows what time it is.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back. We had great engagement this episode. You guys could have forgot about us going from season 1 to season 2, but that's clearly didn't happen. In fact, it seems like we're back stronger than ever. So super excited to have you here. Tune in. I don't know. This is Alexis, kind of your thing, but I know you know the computer thing. So anyway,
I'm good now. I can go through it real quick.
Why don't you take us out if you're straight?
Sure. Okay. So, well, this is supposed to be earlier, but we're coming to the end of another great show. A huge thank you to the judges and the companies. The Twitter poll should be live now, I think. So go vote for your favorite company. We have some really great starters to open the show. And stay tuned for next week. On Thursday at 7 p.m., we'll have a special surprise guest. And tune in to find out who.
So we'll be back this Thursday again on Twitch live. Thanks for coming.
Good night.